Just chatter before we pretend that we're going to talk about a TV episode. Oh, so people already said hi. Sandra and Stacy, hi.
Richard Drive.
I'm keeping my pictures of Jamie in the office instead of the bedroom.
There
Well,
you
yeah,
go.
I have in my office, which is across the hall here, I have like a little Sam shrine set up on my file cabinet in my husband. And then I have a screensaver on my computer. My husband walks in my room. He's like, "Oh yeah, sure." He's like, "I don't even matter anymore."
I know. My husband said,
Sorry.
"Well, he always, he admits. He goes, so are you thinking? Are you talking to your on-screen husband?" I said, "Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it
Yep.
on-screen husband. You got. He knows.
Wow.
When my husband got me a new computer, and he put the Outlander screensaver on for me. He didn't even
Nice.
ask. He just found one and put it up. I
Put
was
it
like,
up there.
okay.
See, there you
Nice.
go. I have
Well
Sam
done.
on mine. It's a gorgeous picture. He's in that black um c- coat and top. I mean, he's just gorgeous. I'm like, oh my, and
Oh
it's
yeah.
black and white. I love him in black and whites. I have to admit, that's kind of my
So,
favorite thing.
Yeah.
so that's my. Well,
Oh,
it went
It
away.
went
It
off.
went off.
It went away. Yeah, I was gonna say. Oh, and that's our conversation, Kathy. No one needs to see that. Well, here. This is that's my big screensaver.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
there you go. I
Yeah,
like that
that's
one.
what my falling through time is that
That picture.
screensaver
yeah,
Nice.
Okay.
that's really cool.
picture.
Very
Cool.
cool.
And
And
then
he signed it for me.
So your experience was good then meeting Sam.
Oh, God, yeah. I got
Mhm.
a hug.
She
Oh,
still hasn't come down from Earth,
yeah. I mean,
heaven to Earth.
And I touched his chest.
yeah.
I remember
Yes.
meeting him from
I
the
know.
bottom
You
of
showed
the
us the
he put his
picture.
arm around me, and I'm like, after I looked at the picture, I'm like, I don't even remember. I'm like, was his arm around me? I'm like, but it's around me in the picture. I'm like, I seriously, I don't remember. And then I asked my sister-in-law as we were walking out, I'm like, his arm was around me, right? She's like, oh yeah.
Out of
Like,
body
okay.
experience, huh?
Yeah, I think it was, it really was. So,
That's
I
sweet.
showed the picture of Sam hugging me to my physical therapist. He said, "Oh, look, her eyes are closed."
oh
That's
no,
because
oh,
you close your eyes when you're having a moment. You know.
You're having a
That's right.
moment.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
There
And
you go. Cute.
She's like, I'll just stay here. Thank you.
I'll
No.
just stay
yeah,
here.
Well,
Absolutely.
wait, now I didn't get the smell thing. Did you think he smelled like anything? I mean, I just had like a slight fresh scent
yeah,
smell.
yeah,
Nothing.
not much.
He
Yeah,
Yeah,
smells clean. That's good. That's
yeah,
it.
Well,
yeah.
Melissa did tell me that he smelled spicy.
Oh, okay.
Clean.
I just like
Spicy, if
little
anything.
fresh
little.
scent. Like I don't know, just like clean, like nothing overwhelming. Didn't smell
Yeah.
like soap, sweat, nothing. Just a little fresh scent.
That's good.
I was just a little bummed because his jacket was padded. I'm like,
Uh, See, when I went in, I just put my arms right around him. I'm like, oh man, this guy is solid. I'm
She
like,
wanted to be like 1 pack, 2 pack, 3. Oh, I'm so sorry.
I touched him on the chest and I was like,
yeah.
holy shit, that's hard.
At the end, I remember at the end when I was saying, well, thanks, it was nice meeting you. I think I did touch him on the chest, and then I like walked away, and I'm just like, okay, I'm good.
What the thing that I liked the most out of all of it though was I met him at like 1:30 in the afternoon, and my pictures were at 6:15,
Well,
and he said, "Hi, Melissa."
Yeah.
He
Aw.
remembered my name,
Oh,
and I was
That's
like, "Oh God!"
beautiful. That's very
sweet.
cool.
yeah,
So
that was
yeah,
really
no
sweet.
prompting or anything. He just said, "Hi, Melissa." I'm like, "Oh my
That's
God!"
just so sweet.
You're
Um,
good.
real quick, Jan says hi. She's
Hi, Jan.
Hi,
saying
Jan.
howdy and having a
Jan.
listen. And how did
I
he
did it,
feel?
Jan. I touched his chest for you.
Mhm.
She
I
just said,
talked
how
to
did
at
he
the end,
feel?
like,
How did you feel?
Hard
Rock
as a
solid.
rock.
Hard as a
Rock
rock.
solid.
Well,
Yeah.
that's what we want to hear. I hope to meet him one day, is what Stacy Chadwell says. Yes, I think we should all meet him. Just be in the same room. I was good
He's
with
so
that.
nice.
Yeah. See, I could not put my foot in my mouth because I never spoke directly to him the entire time. So
Yeah.
I was good with that.
yeah. I know, and
Um,
I had a gift, and then I'm like, I walked up with the gift, and my sister-in-law's like, "Are you giving him the gift?" I'm like, "Yeah." And then I walked up, and then I'm like, "No, I'm not. I can't." I'm like, and I just slid it off to the girls that were on the side, and they put it on the side. I'm like, I can't. I'm like, I just want to enjoy this moment. I'm like,
yeah.
I can't. I don't even know if he ever got his gift. I'm like, I had a kid at that point. I'm like, no, I just want to get to him and enjoy the moment. So
Yeah. I was a little nervous when I was talking to him and stumbled a little when I was talking, but he was really sweet.
yeah, yeah,
I think I saw one of the videos and someone said I'm nervous. He goes, what are you nervous about? He's like, what are you nervous about?
Are you kidding?
Yeah, he probably doesn't get why people get nervous. I don't know.
No, because I
He's
mean,
used to that, you know?
think of it from his perspective. He's just like, I'm just a guy who happens to act. He
Right,
knows that he's
yeah.
a decent person. He doesn't want anybody to be freaked out because he's
No.
a
Right.
decent guy.
Right,
So,
yeah. Like, but to us, you're larger than life.
Oh yeah.
yeah, that's quite true. Quite true.
Yeah.
Well, ladies, I'm glad we all got around. Do you mind if we talk about that episode? I mean, we could talk about how much we
I
like
love this
Sam.
episode. This is
Yeah,
one of my
I
favorite
did too.
episodes of season 1. Truly.
It's a fun one.
There was
Uh,
a lot that went down in this episode.
There's a lot that
Yeah.
happens in this
Yeah.
episode. True that. And
Yeah.
I'm just looking at the very beginning, which I love. And I could have swore that this was not on before. So I wonder if they added that when he's getting into his kilt and he's getting dressed in the very beginning. Because I don't remember seeing that when that was on Netflix. Does anyone else remember that? When
No,
this
I
on
remember
Netflix?
it. Yeah, no, I do. I remember it, but it was just brief.
Very brief. But it was funny because they talked about that. One of the producers I can't remember her name, said that they were going to do a whole scene with him showing how to do the kilt because someone asked him how to put on and then they cut it.
I think
They did the whole scene. Sam did the whole thing, and then they cut that scene and didn't even show him about him putting on the kilt. So I'm wondering if that's why they did that. Put it in the very beginning here.
maybe,
they-
and I thought it was in one of the behind the scene things that they talked about where they
Right.
said, "Oh, they were going to do it, but no."
Right.
But it was kind of a cool part. I would
I
have
know,
liked.
right? I
Yeah.
thought it was so good. And he's just so cool. And he's putting on the kilt, and then he puts on the pin and the whole thing. I'm like, I love that. I think that was great.
Mhm.
Great
I
beginning.
just
I mean, it's a
wanted to
great
real
opening.
quick at some point say, by the way, guys, we're talking about season 1, episode 9, The Reckoning.
Yeah.
Don't want to interrupt because you guys got good stuff going already, but just in case you don't know. Anyway, go ahead.
I enjoyed the voiceover. I
Uh-huh,
thought that
very
was very
Yeah.
profound.
Yeah, it was a good
Right.
voiceover too. That's what I
Yeah.
put down.
Different.
Voiceover of Jamie. That's part of my first line. Voiceover of Jamie. Yeah,
Yeah, I like that. I
it
like
was a
that
good
too.
voiceover. They did a lot of voiceovers in this episode.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, because normally we get so much of Claire, her side of the story.
Yep.
This was a very unique story, and it was really well timed if they were going to do that for it to be this bit of the story, this particular episode,
Right.
because it does sort of explain why somebody who would have grown up with Highlander ideals would change his mind there at the end, his perspective. So it was really well used.
It was.
Yeah.
It was good. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we got started the meeting part, and I like the whole getting dressed part. Whoops, I got to turn the volume off though, so I can.
Well, yeah. Then of course, as usual, Claire has wandered off and needs to be rescued. It's like, come on.
Again, what's new? What is new? Well, at first they started doing the whole meeting with Horrocks, trying to figure out if he was going to
yeah.
give them an idea about who actually killed, I don't know,
Right.
one of the soldiers or whoever did it. And of
Mhm.
course that fell through and didn't. All he wanted was the money and told him a lie, basically,
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah.
And it's like
Or at
really.
least-
Well, I know. I
Like,
think Randall
I
probably
didn't
did kill
trust
him.
this guy at
Probably.
all.
Yeah, nothing that would be of any use because
Of
you
use
have
to
to have
Jamie.
more than one word of an underling, basically, against and a deserter against an officer. So
Right. And the
it's
officer
a-
wouldn't do him any good. He's like, that's not going to help me.
Yeah, that Horrocks is kind of a.
It didn't help me.
Yeah.
Horrocks had some balls though to do that
Yeah.
by himself.
Oh, I know, right?
Piss
I
off
know.
all
I'm
those
like,
men.
wow.
He was really kind of a snake.
well,
Oh, he
yeah.
was.
Very- Oh, yeah, he
I
was.
did not like him.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
No, I can't believe they would have trusted him, but
I know, that doesn't make any sense to me, but
Well,
Yeah.
Jamie's
Jamie's
desperate.
desperate.
Yeah. I mean, he just wants to have his freedom back, and the only way to get that is to prove Jack Randall is untrustworthy. So,
yeah,
Yeah.
he's innocent, right?
we'll just go with it.
yeah, there we go. We just go with it.
Go with that.
But I do like, okay, so we get past all that, and then, oh my gosh, Claire's run off. All right, so we're going to go save Claire. And we get to see the perspective before he's gallantly hanging from the window saying, "Get your hand, unhand my wife," of these guys trying to sneak in. And again, I enjoy that because,
Yeah.
okay, it's well filmed for the dark. I mean,
is.
honestly, you can see what's going on. And sometimes these shows that are at night, you're like, especially as old ladies, you know, all with their glasses. We can't see squat, man.
Yeah.
We got the contrast turned way up, and
They did a really
No,
good job of that.
I do. I
Yeah.
like how they set it up and everything that they had to go through just to rescue Claire.
Just
Like,
a Rex, or
a lot.
it's a lot. Blew up the
Yeah,
place.
but the
Mhm.
fort wasn't really well defended if 4 men could get in and get out.
True that.
no,
Yeah.
yeah.
True.
But I feel like his Highlanders are pretty sneaky, so
Oh yeah.
they managed to, snake their way around the building.
Well, they still know the land better than any of the
Yeah.
Englishmen occupying
Oh, yeah.
the
Right.
fort. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, we catch up with where we left off on last episode with the whole poor Claire bent over on the desk
On the table,
and Jamie
half
hanging
naked.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jamie with his pistol out.
Unloaded pistol, no doubt.
I love that. What
Yeah.
does he say? He
Yeah.
goes, "I would thank you to take your hands off my wife."
Yeah,
I love that part.
And I love Randall's reaction to that because
Uh-huh.
just I don't know, utter pleasure and surprise at the same time. Oh
Yeah.
boy, we've just added to my fun time.
Well, he
And-
didn't know that she was married to Jamie because Dougal didn't tell him that.
Right,
So he had no idea that that's who she was married to. Was that dude?
Yeah.
And that makes a difference. Yeah.
Right.
Or does to him.
And then much to his surprise, it's like, oh wow, okay, well Jamie's back,
Mhm.
And not only that,
about
but
it.
you know, Randall's got him, well, his wife by the throat, so he's got no options as far as he can tell. I love how, obviously it's written this way, but I love how he thinks, haha, now I have the pistol and I have the upper hand, not just a knife.
Mhm.
Right.
And boy, does that turn around very quickly, and you know, Jamie's quick thinking, and Claire's freaking out, but but going with
Gun
it.
thing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I always think it's funny though, because this was the second time someone asked you, "Oh, maybe your husband could join us," or do you prefer to watch? That's the second time someone asked him that.
You know,
I'm
maybe
like,
it's just
what is
because
going
they're
on? Everyone
polite.
thinks Jamie likes to watch. What?
Well, he's kind of a swinger. I mean,
That's the wrong show.
I know.
Kathy.
That's the wrong show.
We just watched that one. No.
Right?
It's very confusing. The women both have curly dark hair. We don't know who to.
Right. They do
He was
look
good at that too.
Yes, we are on our game, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoy this chat. I have a feeling it's going to make total sense at all times.
At all times.
At all times.
Never.
That's probably more accurate too.
and it was a little terrifying when they had to jump off the side of the castle, and Claire's like, "You're sure there's water down there, right?"
He's
Like,
like,
"Yeah,
I think so.
he's like, I think so.
Pretty sure. I think so. Yeah. But you know, they do make the harrowing escape. It's very nice. Well done again.
Well done.
We get the water shot and the explosion and
Oh yeah.
just action-packed power move.
Yes.
And then they're a little worse for wear when we see them next. But
I think so. Yeah, a
Yep,
little
yep.
worse.
they meet up with the folks though and ride to freedom, to safety, yay! And then everything is all better, and nothing else interesting happens in the rest of the show. No, I know,
That's too much.
obviously.
You know what's funny about that next scene when they're riding their horse and they stop by the creek, because that's what comes up next.
Mhm.
Is all those dudes know exactly what's going to happen because they
Yeah.
kind of give each other an eye look. Did you notice? I think that's hilarious, especially between him and Murda.
Yeah.
Jamie
Yeah.
kind of looks at him. He kind of gives him a shake, like, "Yeah, you need to go talk to your woman," kind of thing. Look,
I get her.
that was hilarious. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, but then further into the fight, it looks like they're all kind of embarrassed,
kinda
like mommy and
laughing.
daddy are fighting.
I know, right? Kind of over by the creek with the horses. They're all looking at him like, yeah.
I think it's still supposed to be like it's their deal. It's not everybody else's deal. It's still his job and his wife's of their marriage. So they're
Right.
trying to, not interfere.
Fear. but
Jamie
they're all
knows what he's
kinda
supposed to
looking.
do.
Yeah.
Claire has no flipping clue what's to come.
Oh, I love that scene. That's the best scene ever.
Well, yeah, and that was their audition scene.
That was their audition
Mhm.
scene,
No,
exactly.
I
yeah.
think really they played it so well,
So well.
in the moment, in the in the show.
They did.
You know,
They said they
oh,
rehearsed that a lot. They knew that scene back and forth because
yeah.
it was their audition scene, and they kept having to
Right.
rehearse that. He goes, "Yeah, we knew that thing like forever."
Right,
I
right.
suppose.
Claire, of course, is like stunned when he's like, "Well, I'm waiting for an apology." She's like, "An apology for what?
What?
Like, what did I do?"
I love it.
Duh. What did you do?
I
Yeah.
think
Walk
it's
out like
hilarious.
you were supposed
She goes,
to.
"I'm waiting." She goes, "You think this is like my fault?"
Right.
He goes, "Yeah."
Well, I think he's still kind of torn at this point, you know, between, you know, should she stay with Jamie, you know, and then, or should she still try to get back to Frank, you know? It's like,
Right.
Well, and that's the thing is that at this point, I don't think it is a decision one way or the other. She still wants to get back to her husband.
mhm,
I don't think there's any doubt that she has feelings for Jamie at this point.
yeah,
But I think for anybody, well, I wouldn't say for anybody, people with certain sort of ethical bound or moral fiber, I don't want to like put other people down, but you'd feel that honor to go and honor the rest of, well, for lack of a better term, but for this episode, your oath. And she took a wedding oath just as well before she said anything to Jamie. So I can see why the first thing she did when she found out where she was is try to head back home.
Right.
And
Yeah.
I mean, it's a great storytelling device, but it's a rotten moment because they go from you apologize, no, you apologize, and then you see this sincere hurt and concern on Jamie's
On Jamie's face. That's what turns
face,
the
his
whole thing on.
eyes. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, the whole
when he
thing.
said, "Claire, you're tearing my guts out," I was even bawling. And this is like the 8th time I've watched it.
I know, it's so
Like,
good.
I had to
It's
rewatch
so
it.
good.
Like,
yeah,
I
it is.
was like, oh my God. I'm like, she has no clue.
Well, she has no
Yeah.
clue how much he's in love with how much he's in love
Well,
with her.
yeah,
Yeah.
Because he's deep into it by now.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
he's like, what's supposed
deep
to
into it.
happen here? What am I supposed to do? He's just like,
Well,
oh my God.
I don't think she really has taken seriously how seriously he's taking this either. That he's going to protect her and with his body, and I don't
Right.
think she's really comprehending how difficult that is for him and all the trouble that she's putting him through.
Right.
And she just does not get it at all,
No.
and does not get. I mean, she's in the 1700s. She needs to act like she's in the 1700s. She doesn't get that.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
She's still
Part of
thinking
the-
like she's in 1948, which
Right.
she was still too progressive for 1948.
Right, exactly.
Well,
Yeah.
and then part of the mark of him being a man in his time is how well he can protect and provide for his family.
His family, right.
She is his entire family and responsibility
Right.
here in this time before he
Right.
goes back. But
Right.
and so anytime she gets hurt, that's a knockoff of his maybe not ego, but how he perceives himself as
As
a
this
a
perfect
husband,
husband.
a good man.
Right.
Right.
So
Right.
yeah, there's a lot that goes into, like you said, Jackie, a lot happens in this episode.
It
But
does.
even like in a scene, a
This
lot
scene
is
particularly.
happening.
And then the whole jock between him and her, and he just doesn't still get why she wants to be kind of independent. Goes
Yeah.
off and does her own thing. He doesn't get that. I mean, and he even mentions it a little bit later in this episode. Maybe where you come from, things are easier.
Right,
And
right.
he's finally figuring that out. That maybe where you are from, it's different than it is right here.
Yeah.
And he's figuring that out because of how she acts, and he just doesn't get it. He's in the 1700s. He doesn't get why she's doing that.
Yeah.
And she's just not conforming to where she is at either. But the thing is, she doesn't do this whole series, so it doesn't really matter. This is just one of many things that she does through this whole series. Gets him in trouble, always.
Yes.
But it keeps the show interesting, right?
Sure does.
But by the time the scene is over, like whatever's between them argument wise, they've kind of figured it out, okay? She should have listened, she'll listen next time.
I'm sorry.
He shouldn't have called her those names and disrespected her. It doesn't do him any good. He apologizes. So as far as that goes,
I love the
they're
voiceover
good.
at the very end of that scene. It's fabulous.
Yeah.
It's fabulous. The very end of that scene, that voiceover is so sweet. That's part of falling in love. I mean, he already knows that he's deep in love with her, and that was the whole point right there. Why he even apologized to her too, because he goes, "Well, I'm sorry." I mean, even though it really wasn't his fault, wasn't
No.
at all, really.
No.
Oh.
He did it anyways because he felt sorry. I'm sorry that I yelled at you, kind of thing. You know.
Yeah.
I love that. That voiceover is so sweet.
Mm-hmm.
I love the part when they're riding back and he thinks it's all
It's
taken
all
care of
done.
and no problem.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
yeah,
You're,
you
yeah.
don't know about
you're
being
so
married.
naive.
Yeah.
She's all, Claire, now you know we're not finished yet. She's
Yeah.
like, what are you talking about? We're
Well, and then
good.
how do you not know something is kind of up? I mean, especially when all the men are ignoring you when you go back to the tavern, and it's
Right?
like he's
Yeah.
just trying to say like, I don't think I properly thanked you.
They're just
They're all just
ignored.
kind of like, yeah, right.
Yeah, they're all talking. Don't even
Yeah.
look like she's even there. I'm like, ooh, ooh.
This is worse for her than in the beginning when they were starting to collect taxes and she was off to the side and
Mhm.
they'd speak Gaelic and not include her in the conversation. It's
Right.
worse because for a little while she was accepted. She
Mhm.
was spoken to with respect, was included in on discussions,
It's just
Right.
right.
and so this is like worse. It's a worse punishment, which it's meant to be.
Mhm.
Right. But
But
because she
yeah,
doesn't really understand how much danger she put
Yeah.
everybody in, not just Jamie, but the
Right.
whole crew.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
now Blackjack, it's on their radar that they're
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
And I don't think she doesn't get that yet.
Yeah.
Because I don't think she knows that part. You know.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, everything will be fine. No, I'm gonna keep saying that if just to be ridiculous. And
Well,
everything is
and
fine.
yeah, when it gets to the punishment part, Jamie's like, "Well, we still have some business to take care of," and Claire's like, "What are you talking about?" And then he
I
takes
know, right?
the belt off, and it's like, "Holy crap!"
Yeah, because she's all
Like,
tucked
what do you
into
mean?
bed. Jamie, come to bed. And he's like, oh,
Yeah. Not
no,
No.
we're not done yet, dear.
No, no,
You're
no,
not done yet. Mm-mm.
no.
I do love her. And well, what do you mean? I don't. What? And he has to explain
What's
from his point of view exactly why
Why?
she needs to. There's a difference between learning or knowing and knowing.
And really feeling it in the
Yeah,
heart.
really.
Definitely.
Was it good hiding makes you understand things in a more serious light?
Lights.
There you go. Yes, thank you,
Yes.
Melissa.
My parents firmly believe that.
Mine too. Although
I never did.
I never got the belt, but I got the wooden spoon a couple times.
Mm.
Wooden hairbrush.
Yeah, but
Mine was just a
my
flat-
brother did get the belt. I mean, but
I got the belt.
yeah.
Flat hand of a Marine. I mean, I was fine. It felt great. It was terrific. I misbehaved regularly. Although I got to a certain age and it was not corporal punishment. It was removal of things you love in your life.
Yeah.
Yeah, grounding.
I was
I got
Grounding. Yeah. I did that. That's what my parents did. They did more of the grounding thing.
Yeah, grounding me did nothing because I had a TV and I loved to read and I had tons of books. So I
Yeah.
mean,
Well, I was outside all the time, so that was my world, is being outside. So
I
grounding.
worked like 30 hours a week, so even if they grounded me, I still had to go to work. I was getting out of the
Yeah.
house. I was gonna make money. I was good.
Yeah, working school at least, you had that, but
Right.
yeah, it's pretty much you go to your room. And at the time, I didn't have a TV in my room or anything. I mean, I had a lot of posters on my wall, but fish tank. But I didn't have any-
Talking to the fish.
The grounding wouldn't have done any, or that wouldn't have been effective for me. But for my brother, oh, it was very effective to put him in his room.
In this
Because he
room?
couldn't stand it. Oh my God, he does not like to be alone. I mean,
Yeah.
he'd get up 30 minutes, he'd talk to the dog, and then he'd go and start waking people up talking to them because he couldn't stand it. So you put him in a room by himself, and it was just horrible. But me, I was all good with that. I was better off with a spanking because I didn't want to get that.
That's
Oh, we got some good talk on here.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Jan says she got the switch.
Mm.
She says I got the switch. Sounds. I don't know. Sandra. I'm sorry. Sandra says I got a belt. Okay. And Cynthia says, "Oh Lordy, I was just afraid of my parents when they raised their voice. That's all she needed."
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
my husband is very loud, and I wasn't the disciplinarian so much for my kids. I mean, I did some stuff, and I enforced the curfew and stuff for them as they got older. But when it
Yeah.
came to really telling them like it is, I mean, my husband is very loud and very forceful. I'm like, sometimes he scares me still. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, what? Excuse me, what? Like, why are you yelling at me? And it's just him raising his voice. He's just, his voice really just projects. I mean, that's all it really took was for my boys. And I think I spanked my older son maybe once, and I'm just like, oh my God, I'm like, I could never do that again.
Yeah.
But my husband, yeah, he's so loud. I mean, yeah.
I was not a big spanker. I will tell you that. When I was
Me
like, once
neither.
you can understand my words, I shouldn't have to spank you. I was
Right.
big
Right.
nose on the wall. I was a nose on the wall parent. And I'm terrible because nowadays I really don't do it to my daughter. She's the one who responds to if you take something away she loves.
Yeah, I did that quite a bit too. That
I'll
worked
be,
effective.
you didn't finish cleaning your room. I'm taking your television.
No!
No!
Sorry, I really did.
That's my TV. Why?
God.
I mean, it's like the worst thing in the world.
Yeah.
She's too easy, honestly. Okay, so back in the world of Claire got get in some trouble.
Well, she kind of got Jamie too in the face,
She
so
does.
they gave
Yeah.
each other what they needed to give each other. But I think
Yeah.
that whole scene was hilarious at the when he comes back down the next day. I'm sorry, but that made me laugh out loud. Well, what's his name? So you can come sit by me. And she's like, no, I'll stand, and then they all start laughing.
Over there.
That was funny. I laughed.
It was kind of funny.
It was hilarious. I'll sit over there. That was
But I
funny.
think she did learn her lesson, right?
Yeah, and then
yeah,
of course,
yeah.
that's when Jamie thinks that everything
Sorta.
is okay. Oh, we're all done now. I spanked her. We're good. And like, oh, dude, you have no idea.
Well, and you know what? As far as her relationship with the other fellas, it was good because
Yeah.
they teased her again. She was included. Rather, they were making fun of her. They wouldn't have even made fun of her the night before. So,
Mhm.
Well, it's because Jamie did his duty.
Yeah.
yeah.
He got
And
it.
now everybody has to
Next
pay
time,
for it.
I
No,
think
he's gotta pay
Jamie
for it.
felt bad kind of about it. He's like, oh, I hated doing that, even though she needed to have it done and get my
Yeah.
point across. I think he's like, no, and after a couple days and then, seeing Leary or whatever, it's like, okay, we got to figure something else out, especially after she was giving him the cold shoulder.
Yeah.
Yeah, that whole sex thing.
And the hard floor.
Kind of thing, I think.
Not
I think
sleeping
he's
with
like, oh my
me.
goodness.
Yeah.
This whole situation, I think, makes the timing of their arrival just that much funnier because
Mhm.
they're both miserable and everybody wants to celebrate the happy couple.
Oh, I know.
Miss Fitz is so excited. She loves Claire. She loves Jamie. It's a beautiful thing, and they're just like,
Yeah.
I know, right? Well, they cut a scene out there too,
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
where those guys,
Yeah.
when they came into the Castle Laoghaire, they actually were in their chamber and had an argument
Right
right after
beforehand,
they left
yeah.
that because
Yeah.
Colum didn't do
Oh.
something he was supposed to do. I don't know what he was actually supposed to
He
do.
called
Oh,
him
yeah.
Give him a cheer. I don't know what he's supposed to do.
Yeah, there was something traditional that he's supposed to do as the laird greeting a new couple into
Couple,
that.
and he
Yeah.
didn't do it.
And his wife does say, yeah, Letitia says something like, it's
Right.
been a while since we've had a wedding, and he's just
Right.
like,
And Jamie's
grumbles, and they
and I'm
leave.
like, well,
No, yeah, and Jamie's looking at him, waiting for it, and then he doesn't, and he just kind of walks away. And so they have an argument in their chamber, but they cut that part out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you're
I'm like, the
absolutely
argument
right.
was pretty good. He was supposed to do something. He says to her, and she goes, "Well, what do you want me to say?" I'm like, okay, like a married couple. I mean, they were fighting like a married couple. I think it was.
Well,
kinda
they
funny.
are, so that works.
Yeah, exactly. Kind of bickering back and forth between the two of them.
But yeah, you can see the look on Jamie's face
Yeah.
as he walks away. As,
Mhm.
well, okay.
Absolutely.
Then we would cut back to kind of like life back at the castle, and look, it's Leary, and she.
Mm,
I do again feel bad for
Sorry
Leary at
for
this
the
point
girl, I
in the
do.
story because she
Right.
was waiting for him to come back. She
Mhm.
had no reason to think anything
was gonna
other
happen.
than we'll continue our flirting and kissing in the corner, and maybe
Right.
something more will happen someday.
Yep.
Patience is a virtue,
But
but
instead,
yeah,
And he missed his opportunity. He could have said something to her right there that would have ended everything.
yeah.
and he didn't
Instead,
do
he's
it.
like, "We'll talk about this later."
Later.
What's there to talk about? What are you gonna do? Let her down easy? You're married.
right? Exactly.
I'm married and I really like her.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dougal arranged
you
it,
don't have
but
a
I'm in
chance.
love.
Right. He just kind of rolls it off as it was Dougal's arrangement and doesn't really tell her
Yeah.
that he's actually in love with her.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And doesn't do that for like until, I don't know, 6 seasons later.
Yeah.
That's what I said. Patience is a virtue.
Virtue.
If you
6
just
seasons later, they
wait.
finally have that conversation.
Meanwhile, our Laird, who is all layered of all things, except for
He
one
is
chieftain.
unhappy.
He is,
Oh,
oh no.
Yeah, he's
I
not.
love how he plays this out as the leader. He's like, is there anything you want to tell me?
Yeah. Yeah, like, no, what?
Mhm.
Like kids, like they're getting caught and they don't go, no,
Yeah,
what?
like-
Well, you don't want to admit to the one thing they don't know yet. So, I mean, that's just playing it smart.
Right.
Exactly.
As a child who's never gotten in trouble and never did anything that would cause me any trouble. I also had perfect angels who also never got into trouble. Did enjoy this conversation between all of them, really.
Yeah, that's good.
Because at no point do we get any hint that there's any possibility that Colin himself wants a Stuart King back on the English throne. He has his own world to worry about. He doesn't need to worry about the rest of it. Either way, he gets taxed, and there's a king that he has to bow to.
Right.
And I mean, I know that's not politically correct for especially for the time, but that's his point of view because he's the leader. He's got to take care of his folks.
Right.
And I like that they play that out, that there is no if, and, or buts as far as he's concerned.
Right.
But they also show that Dougal doesn't see the difference. It has to do with he's honoring his oath to his brother, to Scotland, and who he believes
Should be king.
Yeah.
Right.
So to him, it's all one and the same.
Yeah.
Right.
And in Dougal's mind, he thinks what he's doing is okay, by collecting that extra money. And
Right.
Colin's like, no, it's not.
It's not.
Well,
Because you're
and-
representing me, and that's the thing.
Yeah.
He was disrespecting who he was representing, which is Cullum. And if I wanted to do a Jacobite, I'd have done that. But I
Yeah.
didn't. So you shouldn't be doing it behind my back. And that was what the whole conversation really was about.
Yeah.
Is that I didn't ask you to do that. And you're my person to be doing what I want you to do.
Mhm.
And that's
And-
it.
And Dougal knew he was wrong, or one, he would have told his brother, and two, he wouldn't have tried to explain that, everybody knew what they were giving to.
Mhm.
Then why hide it in the bars or the pubs at night? Why not?
Mhm.
Do it right out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And why not tell me you're doing it if you're so proud of what you're doing? Why would
Yeah.
you keep it from me?
Right.
Basically.
And I do like the way Jamie worded that he doesn't care about Charles or whatnot. And then I will give it to Dougal on this, that he does stand up and say, yeah, he had nothing to do with it. We used his back.
Mhm.
Probably one of the few times where he was redeemed in my eyes as a decent human
Yeah.
Right?
being.
Exactly. Yeah, I know, right? I just don't. Yeah, I know, right? Right.
But yeah, he's just saying this is me. This is what I think we should want for Scotland.
Right.
And you know what? I don't know. Jack, you know a little more about the books. Is Ned ever like say one way or the other words? He just like, I keep the books. I just
keep the
work
books.
for the family.
I just work for the family.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he does in the bar fight scene in the Rinse.
Oh, okay.
Because Claire's talking to him about losing, and you're not going to do it. He said, "Well, damn history and damn
Mhm.
all this. We're going to do it
Okay.
anyway."
I don't
Okay.
So yeah,
recall
he's a Jacobite.
either, but it's been
Okay.
a while since I've read the first
Yeah,
book.
I don't remember him being so forward about being a Jacobite in the books, but
Okay.
they might have, they changed up a few things. I mean, they changed up a few things here too. So that could have
Yeah.
been something. They just wanted more of that group to be more of a Jacobite thing. Maybe they did that in
Okay.
the series.
But they generally honor the character, whether it's when they take it from book to put it on the screen. I feel like they honor the core of the character, but
Right.
they do change some things.
Yeah.
Very glad about the changes they made to Jocasta that we will find out later.
Mhm.
I think that's very interesting. What the book Jocasta and the show Jocasta is a totally different thing.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
beautiful.
Way different, man.
Love Jocasta on the screen.
Way
Hate
different.
Jocasta in the books.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that whole storyline is different. in the
No.
book, but
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah, it
Oh
is.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
totally.
And I mean, maybe Diana's trying to be a little more raw in her writing, and they're trying to be more polite
They're
on the
trying to be more
screen.
politically correct.
Yeah, yeah. But
Well,
they,
I mean, in that aspect, yeah, I don't know if they consider that politically correct. I don't know. Yeah, she's a little more yeah. It's
historically honest is what Diana probably
yeah,
was.
historically honest. There's a better word for that.
And
Yep.
TV friendly is what we get.
And what we get is TV friendly. Exactly.
Yeah, there you
I
go.
agree.
Okay. Anyway, I didn't say the word whitewashing, did I? Anyway, we got.
You kind of did.
I would never.
They washed it out. They rinsed it a little bit,
Yeah.
hung it up, let it dry.
I don't want to get myself into trouble saying stuff that I have no right to talk about. Anyway, so poor
They
Jamie.
find out
He's just
loud
having a
who's the
rough
father
time.
of Column's kid.
Hamish.
I find that interesting.
Yeah.
Yes, I like
Yeah.
that they made a point that. All right, we all knew it, but nobody says it out loud. Damn.
He says it out loud. Well, there's been hints around it, but he actually said it out loud.
Yeah, exactly.
David says, yeah. I'm like, ooh, because that's what Claire thought in the very beginning when she saw them outside playing in the first place.
Yeah. It's an open secret that they say a family open secret.
Secret.
We don't want to say anything, but that's okay. So a lot of things come out there in that discussion, and I feel bad for poor Willie because he was just trying to be loyal to his laird. What more would you expect from? He's just starting off as a man. He's a young man.
Yeah, he's young.
I like Willie. He was a good guy.
I do. I wish that they would bring him back season 8 where they just sort of run into each other. Because we never see him again. He's like, he left, he got married.
His wife. Come on. And some children, maybe.
And I think he said he went to the Americas, so,
Could run into him, huh?
Run into him, yeah.
They seem to run into everybody else while they're there. Why not?
Exactly. That's what they do. They run into random people that they saw.
Random people just happen to show up.
Hey, are you part of the storyline? I am. Fantastic. Get in the wagon. We're going to...
Right.
Exactly. Love it.
Oh,
great.
I'm sorry. So, but and poor Willie, the gang kind of gangs up on him.
Yeah, but
too,
you
to
missed
kinda
you
teach
missed
him
the
a lesson.
part. Colin
No.
getting mad at Jamie about getting married to the Sassenach.
Sassenach.
Did
And
we
not
already
being
know
able
that?
to
I thought
hear.
that was after, but yes.
No, it's this part.
Yeah, it's this part right here. I'm watching it because now he's angry at him because of the fact no one's going to follow you because you married a Sassenach and you can't be
Yes.
laird.
Yes, and we did discuss that too. That is an important kind of understory that we don't really get into. But that Dougal set this up so that Jamie could never be laird
That was the point.
because the heir to, they don't do family heir. Well, they do, but
So
the son would not necessarily be the one who
Right.
gets. Yeah. So poor Jamie. Now he'll never be laird of his own place.
Mm.
Well,
Yeah,
being married,
not
at
in
least-
Scotland anyway.
Yeah. And that's why being married, I think, gives him a chance for him and Claire to finally break free, and
Yeah.
Yes.
get out of there.
Yeah, Dougal doesn't know it yet, but he did them a huge favor. I mean, just monstrously huge.
I think they should have put, or they left out what was in the book where Jamie thanks her for saving his life because he, for sure, that he would be dead eventually because of Dougal wanting to be the laird.
Right.
And so I think they should have put that in.
Well, and
Yeah.
they left out that Dougal was the one that actually hit him over the head and was doing
the
all
axe.
of that stuff.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Yeah.
they left all of that out because they
Yeah.
don't explain why Dougal doesn't want him to marry. I mean, or it wants him to marry the sack. They don't really
Yeah.
explain that in the show.
They don't do it
Have to
flat
kinda know
out.
that.
They let us know little things like that. How you become laird. That it's not necessarily father son.
Right.
And so they give us those little hints through the storyline, and then we find out that Dougal doesn't really want Jamie to be laird. Okay, we find that out, and that's why. So I mean, they let us know, but they don't make it a main part of the storyline or lay it out as simply as they do in the book. So Go Diana. Thank you for being clear.
Yeah.
Clear. Yeah, she's clear, all right. Ooh, sometimes
yeah.
a little too clear.
But I think it's things like that that honors the people who have read the books without making the people who haven't read the books confused with details that might not really be necessary to enjoy the
A lot
story.
of she puts a lot of detail. Yeah.
She did. Well, she did a lot of research, you know.
Yeah. He really did.
Yeah.
So he's in trouble with his Laird,
Hmm.
but
And his wife.
Ed is and Leary's not that pleased with him, and Dougal finally feels he's kind of rid of that problem
Yep.
for the most part.
Well, no, Jamie has to clear step up with Leary.
Yeah, they're by the
Yeah.
creek trying to do that whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's interesting.
Why?
Interesting how I mean, it's so funny because, she's all up in his face, right?
Mhm.
He starts wanting to grope her. I think it's because, okay, so how many days has it been since I haven't had a woman? Now you're trying to rub up on me. I'm like,
That's
and he's
the
almost like, he's
situation.
almost about, oh my God. And then he goes, nope, I can't do that. Poor
We
Jamie.
always
He's like,
say,
oh
man,
no.
if my man ever cheats on me, I don't care if he hasn't touched me in months. We'll get back. But you see that in real life, and you're like, man, good job. Well
Good
done.
job, Jamie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She came ready to entice, to seduce, to
And he felt it, and he's like, nope, I can't do that because I made a vow. And I'm like, oh, go, Jamie.
yeah, absolutely.
Go, Jamie.
I'm sure there was some feeling because there was some
Oh, yeah,
feelings
there's feeling
there.
Went over his face. You could see it.
I have to say, if I get my figure back, I might wear that outfit for my husband sometime, just to see if he goes, oh, hey.
That was nice. Okay.
If I have
Katie.
snug enough corset, I think that I might be able to pull it off.
Go,
Things
Katie.
can pretend
Go,
they still
Katie.
point up.
Go,
I don't know.
All
right.
Poor Leary.
We're all married here, please. Or
Poor Leary.
Poor Leary. Poor Leary.
Poor Leary.
I don't feel bad for Larry.
Oh, I
No.
do.
Trying to seduce a married man.
I do.
No.
I
I
do
still
at this
do.
point.
Up until this episode, I still do kind of feel sorry for her.
Yeah.
But
Right
she's
up
been
until
pining
you.
over the
Up until
dude.
this point.
Yeah.
Now, when she
She's been
tries to
pining
seduce
over
him,
him
I
for
don't
so
feel sorry
long.
for her anymore.
No.
I do
Just
now.
because she really didn't know.
Yeah.
I mean, she's a kid. She's still a kid.
Yeah. She's
And
still-
those feelings at 16
Mhm.
are big feelings,
Big
you know.
feelings.
At 16, I knew it was not right to try to seduce a married man. Thank you.
But at 16, I don't know, I could be wrong, but at 16, were you expected to just about be married and possibly have some kids any minute
By
now?
then, yeah, they're
No.
getting married off with kids by then.
So I think it's a different.
Back then.
I understand what you're saying, Melissa. I also didn't seduce any men when I was 16.
Right.
I waited till I was 17, like any respectable young lady.
Woo! Good for you, 17. Woo!
I am kidding. Making a really terrible joke. I was 18.
I still
So
feel sorry for her in this. Up until now, I still do.
I honestly do too.
I do. I feel
She's not my favorite character, although I love Nell Hudson.
I
She's
love
not
this
my
character. I think
favorite
she's great.
character.
Yeah.
But yeah, she didn't know any better, but she knew she shouldn't at the same time. Feelings take over and you make stupid
The
decisions.
decisions you do.
Yeah.
Well, I think at
That-
this point, at least Jamie's trying to figure out what his next move is, going back to Claire. And I think, like any guy, we wish that, they were like Jamie. They were more forward thinking, because he's like, if this has to work out, we got to figure out a different way.
Different way of doing things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he took in all the things going on around him to draw that conclusion as well.
Right,
It wasn't
right.
just, I guess I got to do something different because my wife's angry. He saw people he respects change their view. He saw people get hurt, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So I mean, he's a very thoughtful man. Is one of
Very,
those
very
things that we really
romantic
enjoy
man.
about him.
Yeah,
he
very
really
thoughtful.
is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Love this whole scene is just beautiful. I meant the whole thing. How he talks about his dad. This was we're rooted in tradition. She's like, yeah, I saw that. Just the way she says it. Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, she's not impressed.
Not yet. Just the way
But-
he says that. It was great. Yeah, I saw that.
The way the tone, that when he takes that oath and his
Yeah.
tone,
Yeah.
I mean, there is sincerity, and then there is something that is coming from deep inside, and
His
that
heartbreak.
was, Yeah.
Sorry.
How could you refuse him at that point?
I know,
Yeah.
right? He goes, "Do you not want me anymore?" I'm like, "Oh, Jamie." That was my Jamie moment right there. I'm like, "Oh, Jamie. Do you not want me anymore?"
You
And we're all
poor
about a
baby.
million people go, "Yeah, we do."
Yeah. I'll
Claire may
take
not,
him.
but
You'll
we all,
take him.
yep,
Like,
totally.
he is this
Oh,
poor guy. I mean, he's like pouring
oh,
his heart out.
I
He's
know,
like,
right?
he's spilling his guts out and just
Yep.
doing anything and everything possible.
Yeah.
To mend that fence, yeah.
And then of course Claire is like, oh God, I should hate you, but I don't.
But I don't. And then
Yeah.
and then he explains the whole ring thing, which is even more romantic. I made
Yeah.
it out of the key because I wanted you to feel that Lollybrook was a part of you and not me. And I'm like, "Oh, Jamie, could you be any cuter?" Oh my God.
And then when he
Just keep
says, "You're
rolling
my
it on,
home
man.
now,"
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. Yeah.
Woo.
There are
Oh
no
my God.
words that come out of his face during this time that don't just make you go, and now I love him more. And now I love him more. And now I love him more.
Oh my God. Could you be any
It's
more
like,
romantic? It's like,
feel
shoot.
bad, but
And then they get down and dirty. I love it.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Awesome. I mean,
Yep.
this whole
This is
sex
like,
scene was amazing.
yeah.
And this was their first intimate scene that they actually recorded
Before-
together.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm
oh
like,
my
whoa.
goodness, it was raw too. And I
I'm
don't
like,
mean that
holy
in a
crap,
mean
this was the
way.
first one y'all did?
Yeah.
He's like, "Yeah, we didn't really know each other that well." And there we go. I'm like, okay, y'all did that really well for not knowing each
Yeah,
other.
because there was some grabbing and some kissing of body parts that I'd be like, well, I think I'd want to know somebody very well before.
Well, before I'd have to do that, I know, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, whoa, okay.
But I think too, in the heat of the moment, it's just like, okay, I don't care at this point. Jamie's just like, oh my God, when he says, I want you so bad, I could scarcely breathe. And it's just like, okay, we don't care at this moment. It's like, let's just go.
Just do this thing.
Yeah.
Which is why they're on a hard floor on a rug. And then they say the hard floor is better than having the rug on the floor.
Yeah.
They got rug
before
burns,
he
he said.
scenes. Yeah.
Mhm.
Like rug burns. I said, y'all, we're going that way? Okay.
Yeah. Now,
These
I know
things
that-
do happen. A little extra lotion, maybe some Vaseline. It does help. So we enjoy these scenes. I'm pretending that I'm way naughtier than I ever was. I bet
Well,
it's just
Sam
for
even
fun.
said that's how they make the afterglow, right? He said they do Vaseline in water. I started rolling. I'm like, oh, gross. Sorry. That just made it so unromantic when he just brought that all up. Like,
Yeah.
ew.
So they Vaseline their skin and then like spray
do it, and
water
it's
so
so
it looks dewy.
Dewy. Like the after love glow. I said,
Mhm.
really? Does everyone? Yeah, I'm not even going to go there.
And I don't think that part was in the book where Claire holds a sword to his
It
neck.
wasn't.
No,
Like,
no,
that was
no.
not.
That's
Like,
that's a
not-
whole
that
visual
was really
thing.
bold though to put that in there. Like,
Yeah, that was not in the book.
take a hand to me again, James Fraser. I will cut you.
You know what? She could have told him, you need to go to the moon. He would have said yes in that particular point in time.
Yeah.
It didn't matter what she said. He was going to agree with her.
I'm pretty
Right in
sure
the
we're
middle of
all
that.
supposed to
Like, no.
always ask for things right then.
Right there.
Babe, I'm going to be going to Vegas. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yes, you go to Vegas. Have
Go to
fun.
Vegas. Just keep going. Go.
Babe, I'm going to the gathering in November. Is that all right? Yes, absolutely.
Yes. He would have, didn't matter what she said. He would have said yes at that point.
Just try to give people tips on how to make sure they get to the conventions they want to go to.
Timing is everything.
Your
It
master. I'm your master.
Timing. Claire knew about timing. Girl's not dumb.
No, this was fantastic. I was like, I think the term I thought of earlier was violently sensual. Because
Awesome.
they're like,
Awesome.
I'm going to show you who's boss. That's right. I'm going to show you who's boss. And in the
And
end,
she's
they
on
agree
top,
that
so
they're
that's
both
even
the
better.
boss.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Power woman on top.
Yeah.
There we go. I'll tell you when you're done.
I'm gonna tell you when and I'm gonna tell you what you're gonna do for me. You're never gonna touch me again, or I'll kill you.
That
Love
seems
her.
fair. No one likes a vague disclaimer. At least she was honest.
Mm-hmm.
Cut your heart out and eat it.
Mm.
It's like, yes, cut it out. I don't care.
Oh, that's just so.
Oh my God.
And
This
then
scene is
after the
fantastic.
makeup scene and all the giggles are done, Claire finds
Ill
the
wish.
wish. Yeah. I love that this becomes a point of contention even later in the show because it shows just exactly how upset Leary was.
Yeah.
And
It
that's
kind of
also the
follows
point where
through
you're
the
like,
next scene or the next episode.
Yeah,
yeah,
like you're the devil's spawn. I'm coming after you, no matter what, you whore. Well,
Yeah.
she had a few other choice words, but
Yeah. I
it's
like it that
true.
we missed the part where Jamie asked her about those words. I think that's hilarious.
Oh, yes,
He
the
called me.
vocabulary lesson.
Called me. He
oh
really has no
yeah,
idea what she meant by that. I thought that was hilarious. He's like, well,
What is the
at
F
me.
word and what is sadist? And I love it. It's like vocabulary lesson for, you know.
Vocabulary lesson after sex. Let's do it.
That's great. It's fantastic.
Fantastic timing. Perfect.
Yeah.
But he says, you don't compliment me over much, but I can't fault your observations.
Yes,
Observations.
exactly.
Yes, he is both of those. He's like, okay.
Yeah.
I love Jamie. He's awesome. That was fantastic.
This was, I have to say, one of my favorite. I'm probably gonna say this so many times as we do this, but it was one of my favorite episodes when it comes to really good character development, really fun. I mean, I think that these two jump in closeness hugely just in this episode.
Yeah.
And if she were to go see the Stones tomorrow, I don't think she'd run as quickly. I really don't. I'm not saying she wouldn't run at all, but I think she might go, so I have something to talk to you about.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was a huge step in their relationship and in the story, of course.
Promises were made.
Yeah.
Like at the end, he made a promise: "I will never touch you like that again."
Yes.
And I
Which
just
is
think
really important and big for the time.
for the time,
Yes.
yeah, absolutely. And I just think it really this episode really showed how much Jamie really was in love with her. I mean, it just was all wrapped around Jamie. Truly, this whole episode was about his feelings for her, what he would do for her, and that's exactly what this whole episode's really about. Shows us how much he really is in love with her. Not so much how much Claire is, but it does give us that whole episode about him, which I kind of enjoyed.
Well, we've had 8 episodes to figure out how Claire feels.
Yeah,
This is the
does too. This shows us a little.
Yeah. It does, but I mean, this is our first true insight into how his mind works.
How his mind's working.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I
I
love
loved
it.
it.
This is one of my favorite episodes, actually. It is.
Are we all 5-star in the sucker? 5 butts, 5 kills, however
We
you
get
would
to see his
5 her.
rear on this one too. It was
Oh,
good. It was
It was
good,
nice,
Jan. We
yes.
saw his rear, Jan.
Yeah,
You're out
yeah.
there.
She is.
We got a Sam rear. We did.
We still
Loving
got
it.
Cynthia, Jan, Sandra, Stacy, and Jane S. And Jane S. says the oath was lovely. Yeah. What she said something else too. The knife bit. The knife bit was okay. She's making an emoticon there with that face. I believe you. I believe you. Yes. Sandra says, and Stacy says yes. Yeah, Jackie, Jamie fall in love with what? With the knife. Okay, because of the knife. All right. So yeah, I like the oath. I like the episode. I like the character development. I almost always love the character development because that is a big thing for me on any series book.
That scene is right. It's right what I'm watching right now. Yeah, there's the knife.
There's that knife.
That knife.
We're running really low on time, and we got cut off yesterday.
yeah,
so,
we did.
I wanna. Oh yeah, Kathy, you had something to say yesterday that you got cut off right in the middle of your sentence. Did you want to?
Oh, I don't remember now.
You don't remember? That's okay. That's all right. I just wanted to make sure I said thank you, guys. I'm looking to see if I can find it real quick, just in case.
The other thing I really love is that you are my home now. I'm like, oh, that's another thing that was my old Jamie. There were so many old Jamies at the end of that part, that whole section. I'm like, oh, Jamie.
Super heartfelt, just like
Oh,
heartstrings. Oh my god.
I know. It's such a good thing. Oh, and Sam just did that so well. He played that whole "I'm sorry, innocent" thing so well. He's just so good at it. Really good at it.
Yeah.
It's easy to
The emotion he was
understand
with
why
the
so many
emotion.
people thought that he and Katrina are still, were always
Yeah.
a serious couple because of how good they were
They're
together.
so good together. They really are. Play well with each other. You know, we just talking about a few things that people that he wasn't so well with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These two, I mean, I don't know how they did it, but I'm like, oh my goodness. From get-go, they were like just
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah.
Mhm.
They are, and just through the whole show. So.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, as always, it's been a very fun conversation. Thank you,
Yeah.
Kathy. Thank you, Jackie. Thank you, Melissa.
Thanks,
Thanks to
everybody.
everybody for
Guys.
joining us.
Let's make my
Um,
Monday.
Yeah, we will. It's been a fun Monday. I will be live tomorrow at 12 or 12:30 at 2:30 Eastern time, which worked out nicely because my meeting is now on Wednesday with my other group. So I will see you guys then, hopefully. And until then, have a good rest of the night. And
Yeah,
I
you too.
will
Have a good Monday,
Bye.
guys. See you.
and you on Wednesday. You,
Yep.
Yes.
you and you. Yes.
Yes.
And Kathy has better things to do than hang out with us. So it's okay.
I'll watch
Film
the
it.
after party show.
Okay, that works. That works.
Yeah, it works.
Have a good night, ladies.
Have a
You
good
too.
night.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, and we are done now. Do you guys want to look at a flower while I chat at you? No, that's not a flower. There's a flower. Have a really great rest of your Monday, guys. I know it is a little late. Hopefully you got a little more fun time. I'm going to go hang out with my husband and watch something. We usually watch either comedic news like like Tonight Show or some this week tonight, yeah, probably watch that, and just chillax. So please chillax yourselves. And if you did not catch the two videos today, I got one covering LandCon 7, which we got some really good pictures and some exclusives from Vicky Toth, and also covered a little bit of Sam's marathon run yesterday in London. It was fantastic. He did well. He finished. Really impressed with everybody. So thanks for joining us tonight. Don't forget to like the video if you enjoyed it, and check out the rest of our chats if you haven't caught all of us, because we have spoken about episodes 1 through 9 now. And I will see you guys again tomorrow. Have a really great night, everybody. Love to